All right, man. Another single take, unedited garbage video that you can dismiss. Yeah, actually, something nobody's ever asked, but I'm going to share with you anyway, is these giant pieces of steel. I don't know what they're like, about an inch thick. Maybe those are 2 inch, but they're rounds. I do metalworking out here, so those are just like a nice metalworking surface. So if I have to beat up a metal surface, I don't have to beat up my anvil. Anyway, Filson 258. The 258, I believe it's 11070-258 is the actual number, but you use 256 as the standard briefcase, the one they're still making. 257 is the one that's the same as the regular briefcase, just wider. It's the same height, it's the same length, but it's just wider in the bottom by 2 inches, so it increases the capacity from it's like 12 liters to 17, 18, something like that. And this guy is even bigger than the infamous 257, which has been out of production for some time. These have been out of production for like 2 or 3 years, I want to say. This one is in excellent condition. Yeah, 11070-258. This is the otter green. There's actually a surprising number of reviews on YouTube already about this. And this is going to deviate sort of from my typical review because I have never actually used this bag. I actually just picked this bag up. And why did I pick it up? Well, I picked it up to flip it. So it's on Poshmark for more than a lot more than I paid for it. It is effectively unused. I have no idea how many times the guy used it, but the brass zippers, all the fittings, I mean, everything is flawless on this. It looks like it just came out of a shipping box. I mean, it's effectively perfect. And he was offering it for sale. You know, I'm sure he was happy with what he got for it, but I just immediately saw that locally for sale and was like, yeah, I can flip that. So that's what I'm doing. So I have no intent on actually using this. There's a few reasons I'll get into as to why that is. But I just saw an opportunity to make some easy money. So that's what I'm doing with it. Typical to all Filson briefcases, you know, you got your leather poles on your zips, all YKK brass. The really old ones were Talon. Those are for some reason more collectible. I don't understand why, because I can't tell the difference. And then this one has the leather strap here with the pad. I don't actually like the leather strap. Most people seem to like the leather strap, probably because these are, I would guess that the typical clientele for this is not a grease monkey like me, you know, who's carrying around impacts and pliers and wrenches and ratchets and greasy tools and sockets and stuff. This would be a really good tool bag, though. It's very durable, like all the Rugged Twill luggage is. And it's got some great storage. So without further ado, we'll get into it. This is a look at a mostly unused 258. So starting on the back side, we just have a big dump pocket, and there is absolutely nothing back here. It's just drop it and go. You can fit a laptop in there if you want, just slide it in real quick, notebook, you know, a file, you know, whatever office people do, whatever you do in your Google office, which is what, you know, a lot of people who live in this town do. And you got leather carry handles here. The larger Filson Rugged Twill briefcase, the 257, which I'm gonna do a video on here shortly, and this 258, they come with this clasp, you know, so you get a very substantial purchase if you need to carry this by hand, which is great. And then, you know, you undo that, and that's how you get into it. Getting into the main compartments can be a little bit of a hassle. And I'm also doing in sort of uncharacteristic order. Most people start with this pocket, but I'm actually going from the back forward. So got to be a little different, right? So you get this flap. This is, I believe Filson says this twill is lightly waxed. You absolutely can wax this on your own. I've done it before. It takes a lot of wax, a lot of time, a lot of patience. It is tedious. But when this stuff is fully waxed, it is amazingly weather resistant, and it's also tough as hell. Now it's tough as hell without being waxed. There's the inner tag. That looks like a more recent production. So this could be one of the more recently built bags. So I would guess like 2019 or later, you know, roughly. And then you open up your double zip. You have this nice leather supporting and giving body to the area around the zipper. Now, one of the big complaints people have with these, that is something that's never really bothered me much, is these exposed zipper teeth and sliding in and out of computer. I get it, you know, like that might not be great if you have a computer. I'm a guy that's used to dents, scratches, grease, dirt. Like, none of that stuff bugs me. It's just part of my life. You know, I don't work in an office. But if I did, you know, maybe I would be bothered by that. But so looking at the back of the bag, the part of the bag that will be against your body, you have actually it's a tin cloth. This is a cotton canvas. It's a little bit thinner and lighter duty than the rugged twill you see here. It is a bellowsed, looks like technology pocket. So you can fit a computer in there. It does not go the full width of the bag. And it actually looks to potentially sit off the bottom of the bag a little bit. So you probably get a little bit of extra air cushion for anything you're going to sit in here. So that's probably a great place to put a computer. Now, obviously, if you have a computer that's pushing the limits of the width of this bag, and I believe this bag it's like 16.5 inches wide, might be 17 on this one. I'm not 100% sure. You can still go online and find specs. I'm not your mom. I don't need to do that for you. But you can go online and find specs, and Filson will tell you how wide everything is in here. And then, so that's the technology sleeve. Now, this is padded. It's padded inside here and along the bottom. So, and it's fairly substantial padding, actually. So there's a lot of room in here. And then, so that's tin cloth pocket. It looks like there's actually tin cloth lining the back here too. So there's padding on the back, and there's actually padding on the side. So this thing's pretty much fully padded. The only parts of the main body that aren't padded is the top, and then where the top comes down. Basically follow the zipper track, and that does not appear to be padded, but everything else is in the main body. And then you have a similar tin cloth pocket to this one right here. Okay, it's kind of floppy, sits off the bottom. And then we're going to flip it around. So this is now the front of the bag, the part of the bag that would face away from your body if you're carrying it. So here's that tin cloth flap that mirrors the one on the back. And then you have a rugged twill flap, so a much sturdier, heavier duty flap that does run the full width of the bag and does go all the way down to the bottom. So it will fit a larger piece of technology, a larger file folder, a larger binder, whatever it is you're carrying. And other than these three pockets on the inside, it's essentially just wide open, okay? And it's wide open is truly what it is. This is very wide. I mean, this doesn't have, it's not sitting open. I'll go get a tape measure real quick, and we'll just measure it across the bottom. I want to say it's roughly like 8 inches. First, I want to be careful with one of my greasy tape measures. It's out here in the shop, but okay, that's 6 inches. Okay, so we got 6 inches across the bottom here. So that's the main compartment, 6 inches. It's big. The overall capacity on this bag is 22 liters. Something else that's actually 23 liters, but is effectively the same size, is this Defy Bucktown backpack. Okay, these are effectively the same in terms of the amount of stuff that they can carry. And in fact, they're not even that different. The biggest difference between them is actually that this one is carried, sideways for the backpack, right? And then it's carried via a shoulder strap or via a handle. Whereas this one, I suppose you can carry it via handle. I do that all the time. But it's a backpack, right? So that's the biggest difference between the two. Obviously, they're different materials, different colors, blah, 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 different manufacturers, but they'll suit a very similar purpose. Now, I would not, the amount of weight that I put in a backpack, I wouldn't want to put in this. One of the reasons I have no intent on using this bag is because bags of this size carried via shoulder for any length of time or any distance are just miserable as far as I'm concerned. I understand people have different physical maladies and different use cases. And so for somebody that needs 22 liters of capacity and can't wear a backpack, you know, maybe they're one-armed. I don't know, right? This might be a great option for you. And you can always get a different strap, right? Like you can always get a more comfortable strap. Tom Bin makes a very comfortable strap that you can wear. You can get messenger style straps. You know, this Defy strap that I've got right here is 2-inch seatbelt webbing, and I've got this nice pad on it. And this would be a much nicer strap for me if I was going to carry this. Okay, that's a little bit of a sidetrack. Now, we'll zip up the main compartment. Okay, now with the flap in the front here, this is another dump pocket. It sits between the front of the bag and then this accessory pocket on the front. Anything you stick in here will fit under this tab. So it will actually be secure. So if you put like a file in here and it's, you know, short enough that it will sit under this tab, you have a little bit of extra security. You don't have to worry so much about it falling out. That might be a very useful feature to someone. Most of the other Filson bags, the tab is attached to the body. So this flap is just loose and flopping, which, you know, in my case doesn't really matter. I'm always loose and floppy. Okay, quick look at the strap since I've got it here, and then we'll move on to the pocket in the front. Then we'll turn it to the sides, and I'll show you the side pockets. So you have a buckle adjustment. This is just your standard leather Filson strap. Really nice hardware. You can see there is no wear at all on this. I mean, this is brand spanking new. You know, the marks on this leather are probably just from it being made, right? Really nice leather straps. I don't have anything against these straps in terms of their appearance or their quality. I just don't like skinny shoulder bag straps, personally. It's not my thing. I'm more utilitarian. Okay, into the front, without further ado. This is a huge pocket. I don't know what the capacity of just the front pocket is. It is dual zippered, okay? So you can put your zippers where you want. And then in here, there is a key leash. Okay, it's a pretty short one. But again, no wear, beautiful. On each side, so over here and over here, you have an expanding bellowsed pocket that could fit a pair of glasses maybe. Yeah, definitely a pair of glasses, you know, something relatively small. And they kind of fold in on themselves like so. It's probably a little hard to tell, but they're sort of designed to flap in like that and just lay flat. Of course, this one's sort of memoried over to the side there a little bit. And these pockets are sewn. So what would that be? That'd be a blind pocket. Okay, it's got a bottom to it, right? This pocket here, another blind pocket. A little piece of leather in there. And then you have something here for like a lighter, or I don't know what you put in there. Gentlemanly things for gentlemen that I'm not. And you got another similar size pocket to this guy here. Then we have 4 pen, pencil, whatever slots. We have a wide, you know, like call it a hip flask pocket. This pocket, blind also. There's another one in the back here. Blind. And right behind your key leash. This could potentially be the first edited video I've ever made. I had to stop partway through because I thought I heard something. Anyway, so right behind this key leash is another blind pocket. Now, some versions of this, this is a little different depending on the age, right? This seems to be one of the newer ones. Some of the older ones, the pockets are not blind. They actually pass through completely into the bottom of the pouch. So if you drop something small in there, it would just come out the bottom and be floating around inside the pocket. But the actual pocket itself is very large. And, you know, this is another reason I'm not sure that I would ever care to use this, because a lot of the stuff I carry with me it's tools, right? It's pliers, and I've mentioned this before. Having a bunch of weight in here and then nothing in here in the bag, just wanting to like do that would be pretty irritating. So, you know, this is just, again, this is not built for me, right? This is for office people, typically speaking. Though, again, make a great tool bag, which maybe should make it for me because I'm kind of a tool bag. Anyway, this is like a, what is that, 2-inch maybe, 1.5 inches? Oh, no, that's 1 inch. Man, my eyeballing has not been great. That's a 1-inch wide pocket, okay? We've got a 6-inch wide, 1-inch wide, so 7 inches in total between the two. All right, here's the side pockets, right? So typical D-ring leather, you know, it does have a little swivel in there, I believe. Hypothetically, I believe this should be able to turn a little. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's just solidly riveted. And oh no, they stitch it in there. No, never mind. It's stitched solid. I'm just being an idiot, per usual. And then we have the reinforcement here. So lots of leather, lots of stitching. Take good care of this leather. It should last a really long time. I'm not a huge leather guy. I find that it's real high maintenance and it's not very durable. Sure, it's great if you're in a motorcycle accident and you have to slide 35 feet across a bare concrete. Leather's awesome in that scenario, but just about any other scenario. Work gloves, you know, maybe there's a few. Okay, here is a, what is this? Let's see if this is going to fit in that side pocket. This is a milk bottle. I'm trying to see what the size is. I think it's like a quart. Decent size. That's not going to fit, right? I didn't expect it to. Here is a hydro flask. Okay, this is a standard 21-ounce hydro flask you can find just about anywhere. And you can force this in there. Okay, if I really wanted to, yeah, you can force that in there. So that is a sizable container. You can put one on each side. Something that I have used these pockets for on other Filson products. Now, obviously, these are pretty wide because this is a 6-inch main compartment here. I've put sunglasses in there. I've put eyeglasses regular eyeglasses in there. Things that you know, tourniquets. Like if you look at the way I've set up my Bucktown, I have access to a tourniquet and a Israeli bandage right here on the side, right? So I could shove that in there. Now the depth of these is going to make them a little prohibitive for emergency use stuff like that. Here's a look at the Bucktown and the Filson up on its side, right? So if you did have backpack straps on that, you can just tell by looking at them, they're both extremely similar in terms of their sizing. And yeah, so, you know, these are not being made. Filson makes stuff and then they don't make it and then they make it again, or sometimes they never make it again. I have no idea if they're ever going to make this again or not. You know, you can find pretty good deals on these if you look, like Grailed and Poshmark. There's one on Poshmark I saw that was not, this looks brand new when you look at it. I mean, it looks almost entirely brand new. There was one that was pretty well used. It wasn't, you know, overly beat up, didn't have holes in it. I mean, it was still a perfectly serviceable bag with 100 years of life left in it. And that thing sold for $250. $250 is a lot of money to spend on a bag, but it's not a lot of money for one of these, even a used one. These things are insane how much these can sell for. And in fact, I'm kind of ashamed to say how much I'm trying to get for this one, but you know, we'll see how that goes. I might be hanging on to this guy for a real long time, just in storage, waiting for someone to come along that's like, really wants it, you know, but that's what I bought it for. It was an investment, right? And I don't normally buy and sell things like this as an investment. It's kind of a new thing I'm trying out, but it would be really difficult for me not to make money on this. So, but you know, who knows? If I keep it long enough, maybe I'll actually put it into use. Even if I used the hell out of this thing, I'd still make money on it. So, just not as much. Yeah, so that's the Filson 258. I have a 257 coming in the mail. I ordered it. I found just a killer deal on this. It's a really cool one. I don't know. I didn't buy it with the intent necessarily of flipping. I figured I'd use it as a diaper bag because I have a baby coming. And the 257 is pretty similar to this guy. It just doesn't have this front pocket on it. And I'm going to do a side-by-side with this and the 257. So you're going to get to see. There's other YouTube guys that have done that with the 257. I wish I had a 256 too, but you know, if I had one of those, I'd do all three. But the 257 might be good. You know, this has kind of been more my style right here. For one thing, I just like this bag better. No insult to Filson. There's nothing wrong with these. They're great. But you know, for a utilitarian guy like me, Defy is just a better way to go. I like the way Defy lays out their storage options in their various bags. I like the hardware they use. For example, getting in and out of this one's real easy because it's got these sweet Cobra buckles. It's just there, I'm in it. You know, it's real easy. It's also lined. You know, Defy uses X-Pack. And I've come to, even though I'm not a synthetics guy, I've come to really like X-Pack because it's waterproof. It was made for sails on sailboats. And it's, as far as I understand it, it's completely waterproof material. So having a highly resistant fabric on the outside that looks handsome, like this gray wax canvas, and then having something like that X-Pack on the inside, anything I put in here is going to stay dry. The other thing I like about this too is that it's small. I just, having this much weight, even the weight of this bag, like this bag weighs almost as much as this does, and this has stuff in it and this has nothing in it, right? It's not light. And you know, so the only time I'd probably really use something like this is if I was essentially using it as a duffel bag. You know, like I was going on a trip, I wanted to carry on for like 2 weeks. Like I could easily stuff this full of enough gear to get me through, I mean, an almost indefinite trip. You know, I could take a trip because all my clothes are wool, so I can wash them in the sink. You know, so I can stuff this with clothing and gear to get me through for a really long time. This would be really good for that. As a day-to-day, everyday carry bag, the amount of stuff I'd have to put in here, like for my job, I mean, the Buckhound's just better. You know, it's completely weatherproof and stuff. But so, you know, again, long rambly video. Look at a classic Filson bag. If you want, you could send me offers. You know, this is on Poshmark, so just go to Poshmark and put in Filson 258. There's like 5 or 6 of them on there right now. One of them is absolutely absurdly priced at $850, and I think that 30 years would have to pass before anybody would get that much. And I'm pretty confident that I won't get as much as I'm asking for this, but you always ask for more than you want, right? Because people make you offers, and you know, I'm not going to tell you what I'd take for it, but I would take, you know, a decent amount less than what I'm asking for it. So yeah, beautiful bag though. And you know, if this is what you're looking for, go to Poshmark, look me up. Filson 258. Okay. Enjoy.